Hello, my fellow mathematician. Welcome on board to another edition of Solving Maths with your one and only Mr. Excel. As usual, comment, like, and share. Without wasting much time, let's get to what we have on the board. On the board is calculate the area of the trapezium below. Calculate the area of the trapezium below. If you can see on the board, this is a trapezium shape. And if you watch, you have the top 9 centimeter, you have the base 17 centimeter, you have the height not given. Now, calculating the area of a trapezium, we need to put the formula for area of a trapezium. Now, the area of a trapezium is given by area is equal to 1 over 2 bracket A plus B times height. This is the area, the formula for area of a trapezium, 1 over 2 A plus B times height. And if you watch, when it comes to this trapezium, here is the A, this is the B. Now your height is not given. The height should be given, but the height now is not given. Now how do we look for the height? Because this is definitely not the height of this trapezium. The height is not given. We need to look for the height. Am I communicating? Then how do we look for the height now? How do we search for this height? And you will be thinking on how the height should be gotten. But now I want to make it very clear on how to get the height. Very, very important. Now when you look at the trapezium, we make a height inside this trapezium. We create a height in the trapezium. Look at this. From this point, we create our height. Let me see it now. We've created a height from the trapezium, thereby making the trapezium to have two shapes. If you watch, we have a rectangle and a triangle. A rectangle and a triangle. Now we call it height. There's no height because when we see our height, when we get the height, we'll fix it here and be able to solve. So because the height now is not given, we cannot solve, look for the area of this trapezium. Without the height, the area is not possible. So we need to get the height. So when we fix the numbers there, substitute it with all these values, we're able to get the height. Now, how do we get the height? The height is not here. We need to solve for it. Like I said, you create the height there in the trapezium. And because the height is not given, we'll call here H. We need to look for the height. And in order to look for the height, look, I'm going to redraw this again. I'll create another of this drawing again. I'm going to draw this again. If I'm to redraw this, it will look like this. See it now? Here 9 centimeter. But this time around, we're no longer making here 17 centimeter. Because in a rectangle, the opposite sides are equal in a rectangle. Opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. That means this is equal to this side. So if here is 9 centimeter, the remaining one will now be 8 centimeter. You see it now? Making the opposite sides of a rectangle to be equal. You see it? Now, when we add this 9 to this 8, it will give us 17, which is from here to here, making it 17. But I'll make here 9 and this side 8. Why? Because the opposite side, because since I've decided to create my height, I've created a height. Creating my height here now, I've separated this rectangle, I've split this trapezium into two shapes, a rectangle and a triangle. Have you seen it? Now, and in a rectangle, the two opposite sides are equal. So if here is 9, here will be 9. Then 9 plus 8, making it 17. This 17 we have here. You've seen it now. Now, what is our aim? Our aim of doing this is to solve for the height. Now here, how? Now here is 10 centimeter. We have 10 centimeter, 8 centimeter. Now how do we get the height? In order to get the height, I want us to extract this triangle we are seeing here. Let's extract it. We are bringing it out. So in order to bring it out, we'll bring it out here. Now look at the board. We'll bring it out here. It will look like this. Here is a 8 centimeter. Here is the height. And here is a 10 centimeter. Have you seen it now? We've extracted these Now place it here. Now we need to look for the height. How do we get the height? In order to get the height, there's what we call Pythagoras theorem. We'll be using Pythagoras theorem to get the height, the h of this side. You say using Pythagoras theorem to get the height. What's the formula for Pythagoras theorem? The formula for Pythagoras theorem is equal to c square equal to a square plus b square. This is Pythagoras theorem. And if you watch, here is your c. We call here the c. Here we can call here a and b. So what you have in the c part, this c you're seeing here is the biggest part of the right angle triangle. The biggest part of the right angle triangle. You call it the hypotenuse, the biggest side of the right angle triangle. Now the c, you have your 10 there in the c. You put it here, 10 square equal to, here you have your a, you call it your h square. Plus here you have your b, you call it your 8 square. Now your 10 square will give you 100 equal to h square plus what? 8 times 8. 8 square give us 64. You see it now? Now what should be the next thing we do? We collect our like terms. We say 100 minus 64, because when 64 crosses over the inequality sign comes this way, it changes to what? Minus 64 equal to h square. Now 100 minus 64, look at it. 100 minus 64 is 36, which is equal to h square. You see it now? Now we need to make the h here is having square. It cannot give us the answer. We can't say h square is equal to 36. No, we need to square root both sides. Square root both sides so that the h will be alone. Now when the square cancels this, it becomes h. H is remaining. The square root of 36 is 6. We say therefore our height is equal to what? 6. Have you said it now? So we've gotten a height 6. Now since we've gotten the height 6, we can now place our formula now. And our formula will be area is equal to 1 over 2 bracket a plus b times h. Now we substitute. Now we have our half, open a bracket, our a, which is the top part, 9, plus the b. Now we added it together. The b, which is 9 plus 8, giving us 17 times, what is the height now? Our height is what? 6. Now we are going to solve this. When we solve all this now, we're able to get our final area as the answer. Now what will be the next thing we do? Then the next thing here, coming to this place, we solve. We said 1 over 2 times, we see that when you add this together, when you take this and add here, 9 plus 17 now will give us 26 times 6. Have you seen it now? Now what should we do? We cancel out. We say 2 here is 1 and 2 here is what? It's 13. Have you seen it? 2, 13. Now what will be the next thing? We ask 13 times 6, 78 centimeter square. Because 78 centimeter square, it is a centimeter square because we are looking for area of a trapezium. Because it is area of a trapezium, we are looking for the area of it. Calculate the area of a trapezium. Because it is area of a trapezium, it is equal to 78 centimeter square. Very simple and short.